All right, fucking Simone Biles started a started to say a post that saying she's sorry. I want to follow up from my last tweets. I've always believed competitive equity and inclusivity are both essential in sport. The current system doesn't adequately balance these important principles, which often leads to frustration and heated exchanges, and it didn't help for me to get personal with Riley, which I apologize for, and Riley fucking tortured her. These are sensitive, complicated issues that I truly don't have the answers or solutions to, but I believe it starts with empathy and respect. And why the fuck? We have given so much empathy, and we have given them as much respect as we could, but all they do is bitch and cry, and always want to be like, "Oh, you're just a phobist. You're just phobic. You're just super phobic. You're xenophobic. You're just a transphobic. Just shut the fuck up already. Holy shit." Oh, you're big a bigot. I'm sorry, your chromosomes don't change, bitch. I was not advocating for policies that compromise fairness in women's sports. My objection is to be is to be singling out children for public scrutiny. Children? What? This isn't even about children. It's about girls' sports. Hello, men and girls' sports. That's all it is. Children or not, just in general. Men, girl, women, lady, just generality. In ways that feels personal and harmful, individual athletes, especially kids, should never be focused for criticizing of a flawed system they have no control over. No, no, no. Don't blame it on the system. Blame it on your own. This is on you. This is on yourself. You're the one who's trying to break the mold of the system. All right? The system was fine for a while until for whatever reason you guys started to speak out against it. I don't know why, but you did. I believe sports organizations have a responsibility to come up with rules supporting inclusion while maintaining their fair competition. What do you mean? There has always been a fairness. I can't say for the Olympics nowadays. We all want a future for sport that is fair, inclusive, and respectful. See, this is what happens with privileged bitches or just privileged athletes who have great genes to be an athlete. Like, get the fuck out of here. Shut the fuck up. You're even lucky you got in that position. She caved? No, her PR caved. Yeah. I mean, it's probably her PR. Oh yeah, Rob Smith was the one who was talking about the whole black fatigue. His take on it was pretty funny. That was the Fox News guy I was talking about. What do we got here? Sowing more chaos by ordering Marines to do some mass judge for emergency intervention and troop deployment in LA. Governor Newsom files emergency motion to block Trump's unlawful militarization. Judge denies California's request to immediately block Trump's use of national guard. What?
How about new?
Also, the judge doesn't have the power to do that. Right? As the commander in chief, he has an obligation to the United States. So, yeah. New Jersey Democratic Rep. McCliver released on recognizing reconnaissance on federal assault charges. Oh yeah, so this bitch was the one that attacked federal immigration because she was trying to break into the facility when she could have just went through the normal means and wouldn't have a problem, but for whatever reason she went the hard way. I don't know why. She's fucking dumb. A New Jersey federal judge on Wednesday released Democratic Republican LaMonica McCliver on her own reconnaissance during the Congresswoman's first court appearance on assault charges stemming from immigration officials' attempt to arrest Newark's mayor at a detention facility. McCliver appeared remotely from Washington as Congress is in session for the initial hearing, where she was officially notified of the 2 counts of assaulting, resisting, and impeding an officer from the May 9th skirmish outside the Immigration and Customs Enforcement run facility called Delaney Hall. The prosecutor's complaint says McCliver attempted to stop the arrest of Democratic Newark Mayor Ross Braca, who was running in this year's primary for New Jersey governor and pushed into a grabbed agents for Homeland Security investigations and Immigration and Customs Enforcement. But yeah. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but as you can see, she got fucked. You do fucking fuck around and find out, right? That's what you get, dumb bitch. Alright, and then let's take a look at what the chief of the LA Police Department has to say.
What all these means in practical terms. When we declare a tactical alert, we're activating a department-wide operational posture that enables us to reallocate officers rapidly, hold over shifts as needed, and prioritize major incidents. Officers assigned to the field remain in their areas unless they're reassigned. Activities are narrowed to police work of significance or major importance, and officers who are able to return to the field in their areas of assignment. We also notify all relevant
Karen
staff,
Bass, that dumb bitch is there.
Office,
Fuck her.
the Office of Operations,
Get out of here,
Emergency
fucking
Operations
cunt.
Division, in order to ensure seamless communication and coordination. In response to current events, we've also implemented partial mobilization of the department, which means we've extended watch hours, deferred days off for some personnel, and alerted off-duty officers to be ready for deployment. Our ability to scale up quickly is essential during this kind of fluid and unpredictable situation. We're deeply appreciative of the assistance we've received through the California Mutual Aid System, with officers and deputies from across Southern California already on the ground in Los Angeles supporting our efforts. We're also aware of reports that the President intends or has deployed U.S. Marines to Los Angeles. The introduction of federal military personnel without direct coordination creates logistical challenges and risks confusion during critical incidents. Los Angeles Police Department, alongside our mutual aid partners, have decades of experience managing large-scale public demonstrations, and we remain confident in our ability to be able to do so professionally and effectively. We urge full transparency and communication across all levels of government. Our priority is simple: keep both the public and law enforcement officers safe and to maintain order. To the public, we fully support your right to peacefully protest, but let me be absolutely clear. Those who choose to incite violence, engage in vandalism or graffiti, or attack officers will be arrested. There is no tolerance for criminal activity under the guise of protest. Many ask, not a lot of people, relatively speaking, have been arrested during this incident.
You cannot use protesting as a fucking
I wouldn't argue with you on that, but many more will be arrested as the investigation continues. There will be many more subsequent arrests. Finally, I want to offer my deep gratitude to the men and women of the LAPD and all of our partner agencies who are out there standing side by side. They're working long hours under intense pressure, and what I've seen as professionalism, courage, and commitment to this city has never been more evident than in the past couple of days. Thank you all very much.
Buenas tardes y gracias al alcalde Bass de la ciudad de Los Ángeles. Desde esta tarde, el Departamento de Los Ángeles está en alerta táctica y movilizamos a todos los oficiales en el departamento. Estos pasos son para designar áreas
No, he's
criticales
just speaking
y
Spanish.
nos
I
da la
don't
libertad de
understand.
expandir nuestras capacidades en todos los operativos. También tenemos estas demostraciones y tenemos sistemas
So we're gonna
profesionales
skip
y los
this.
hombres del departamento
Watch Incident Command.
ayudándonos en nuestra ciudad. Gracias por su
He's
dedicación
only doing
y
this
su ayuda
because,
profesional.
right, there's a lot
Y
of
les
people
vamos a
who
seguir
speak
dando
Spanish
información en
too
inglés y en
in
español.
California.
Gracias.
Commander Herman Hurtado. It was Commander Herman Hurtado, who is in our Professional Standards Bureau. I'm also joined by Commander Ryan Whiteman, who usually works Operation South Bureau, but during this incident is the Day Watch Incident Commander. So I'll take any questions you have. If they're detailed questions, Commander Whiteman would probably be better able to answer those.
How does the mobilization that might be coming affect what you guys are trying to do on the ground, and what is your biggest concern with that?
Yeah, the mobilization is what we do internally to be able to get more officers out there. We had declared that earlier, and now we'll have the ability to have roughly 400 additional officers deployed to the field.
Are you concerned with the federal mobilization? I mean, the National Guard and the Marines possibly coming this way?
Yeah, when I look at this, and my assessment may not be accurate based on this thing's continuously churning, but I see two parallel tracks that don't work together, if you will. We're dealing with the issues on the street that you see every day. We deal with that with LAPD resources. When we need additional resources, then we reach out to the sheriff, who brings in mutual aid. We have 14 different agencies working with us for that purpose. And then only if we weren't able to continue to deal with that, needed additional help, would we reach out to the sheriff, who would then request National Guard from the governor. So that's one line. The other part then is the National Guard were federalized by the president to support federal agents who are working on behalf of ICE to do their operation. The Marines were brought in then today, evidently, to join the Army National Guard in doing what their main mission has been identified as, which is the protection of federal employees and federal property.
Do you feel that incites those? Do you feel that makes it any different on the streets?
You know, I think everybody, it's a very emotional topic, absolutely. You know, could I quantify what that is? I think it has certainly heightened everybody's level of awareness and certainly anxiety, but to be able to quantify that, I wouldn't.
Chief, how are you
We'll take
avoiding
two more questions, and then the chief has to step out, and he'll come back.
I'll be back.
How are you avoiding less lethal weapons being used on people who are merely there in the way, potentially? Because it doesn't seem like everyone that's being hit is being attacked, including press. I don't know, like, it doesn't really make any sense that people are just being shot at.
Yeah,
in
yeah.
communities. Like, can you
Sure.
explain how
People
you
are not
guys
just
can
being shot at.
not do that?
Yeah, we minimize it through training, through the equipment we use. It is a target-specific munition. That's not to say that it always hits the intended target, particularly in a dynamic situation. I know that the situation you're referring to with the member of the media, we saw that. We're very concerned about that, and we're looking into that.
About the horse trampling?
Yeah, basically one of the Australian
also aware of that,
news
and we're looking at that as well.
news journalists got shot in the leg, apparently.
He's gonna come back,
If I
guys.
may, you know, all of the streets surrounding the federal building complex, Los Angeles, Temple, Aliso, Alameda, they've all been cleared. You push the crowd away from
Right.
them. I know you can't talk about all of your tactics, but in terms of conventional.
But it's just like, I mean, that's, I mean, she was in the area. I mean, she was, maybe, I don't know, don't stand in front where the police are.
Yeah, we're trying to move them away from wherever the threat is. So if there are people.
Yeah, I mean,
assaulting
the
officers, which is often
the
reason
journalist
they're
was
taking
like
rocks or bombs,
literally
pieces of
with
concrete,
all of
then what
the
they will attempt to
right,
disperse
all
that
the
crowd so that
rioters.
they
So
don't-
it's like,
they're not
I
unable
mean,
to continue to
we're
do
kind of
that,
in the wrong
and move them
area.
out.
So I
If
mean,
they
that's
can
kind of on
target
your fault.
individuals who've been the ones who are the aggressors, who are throwing the rocks, and they can safely go in and arrest those individuals, they will. Some of those will be arrested later, and after having been identified. And so this thing is moving forward in a way that some get frustrated with and watch. But we're out there, and we have an approach to this where we're not going to move a crowd into an area where it's going to cause additional problems, into the Civic Center.
Well,
or
yeah, I
into
mean,
the
they're trying
freeway.
to
We're gonna
minimize
move them away
issues.
where we think they can do the least damage, and we're going to try then and employ tactics that would minimize that even further.
Right, they cops don't want to be surrounded either.
Put out that there's some looting going on at 6th and Broadway. And as the National Guard, are they actually engaged with these protesters? Some media outlets were reporting that they were actually sending out tear gas, and I know on our channel, we did not see that.
No, not that I'm aware of at all. That I'm aware of, there were at least 3 businesses that were broken into and property taken from them along Broadway and maybe other places. As far as the National Guard deploying anything other than around the federal building, I'm not aware of anything like that.
Right? Oh, headquarters damaged, correct?
Yeah, damaged, yeah. The whole Civic Center, there was
Yeah, the
significant
whole place
damage
is
as it
fucking
relates,
damaged,
particularly to
yeah.
graffiti, broken windows, that kind of thing.
Chief, we didn't talk about possible curfew at all. There have been some mention of that.
Burnt cars everywhere,
Yeah,
burnt
no, we're
fucking
always
shit
thinking about
everywhere.
that. That's always a tool we can employ. We certainly hold that to do that. And this is a pretty isolated area where this has happened relative to the size of the city. So we would, if we were to use that, it would be done very judiciously.
What can you tell us about the staffer for Councilmember Verado that was arrested?
I won't talk about any individual cases. There's a lot of cases where we have arrests. There's other cases that are arrests are pending.
Wait, there's a
So
council
as far
member
as on
that
an
was
individual
arrested? Oh,
basis,
is
I
he
don't
talking
have
about the
enough facts about
wait,
the
what
individual
council
to
member?
talk about it.
What?
Chief, can you talk about parallel tracks with having the federal, military here and having the other, National Guard? Talk about how that, I don't want to say hinders, but how that affects what you guys do and kind of what that's doing in terms of.
Yeah, right now, from a policing standpoint, we're dealing with civil unrest on the street, at the same time trying to protect peaceful protest or uphold people's First Amendment rights. And so it's, we're doing the work that police officers all over the country do every day. We have a situation here where it has gotten out of control relative to some individuals in the crowd doing things that none of us would approve of. So we're trying to deal with them as best we can. The challenge are the crowds are very large, and we end up moving them.
Yeah, I
from one
mean,
place to another
a
as we
large
disperse.
crowd, and you
And
just
so
have to
we're trying
pick out
be,
that one
so
fucking
restrained
person
and
who's
be as
causing the
judicious as we
issues.
can.
Yeah, that's
How
kind
we
of
do this.
dangerous, right?
But as I mentioned, a lot of the follow-up investigation that will follow will hold people accountable for their actions.
And how does it impact you having the, potentially the Marines here and National Guard? Talk about how you're kind of working that and the impact it's having on the public.
Yeah, I'm sure the level of anxiety, particularly in our immigrant community, is extremely high. And so we certainly understand that. Our role, and we've been as clear as we can be, and I'll talk to any group anywhere about what the LAPD does and doesn't do. And as far as civil immigration enforcement, we don't do that. You'll often hear references to Special Order 40. A special order in LAPD world, it basically just changes the manual, the policy and procedure manual that's going to be printed the following year back when we printed them. And so that order came out in 1979. So for 46 years now, the rules of the LAPD have been, we do not stop people to find out their immigration status, and that is not a factor in any subsequent interaction we have with them. And so my hope is that the public continues to trust the LAPD to come forward if they're a victim of a crime or a witness to a crime, and not let their immigration status get in the way of their seeking help from the police department. That is not our role, and if we were to take that on as a role,
Yeah, I mean, that's
it would be
yeah,
against our
exactly.
interest as
The
providers of
LAPD
law
is not
enforcement and
there
safety
to
for our community,
care about
as
your
we're to erode public
immigration
trust.
status.
And
Chief, do you have-
Just there to protect the peace.
That's my question.
I'm sorry,
Your
sir.
concerns that the military could step in and take over.
There's a
part of
separate division for
I think we're in
immigration
uncharted
people,
territory right now,
literally.
so I would be speculating to talk about that. My hope is we continue to do our job as well as we can with the partners we brought in. I mentioned the 14 agencies that are helping us, and that we're able to.
Yeah,
get things
you
back
know
to the way
who
they
takes
should
care
be,
of
and public deserves
immigration
and expects
stuff?
them to be
Tom
very
Homan.
quickly.
Chief, do you have an update on the number of arrests by chance?
Borders
The last I heard
are.
was 42.
Today?
Not just
I
today,
mean, he's
no.
the head of
Today
that
Today
stuff.
was relatively quiet.
But yes,
relative to the
ICE
last
is
2
the one
days.
who takes
And
care of
so,
immigration stuff.
I don't expect the account to be high as of this point.
Is
Tonight,
42 just LAPD, or
No.
does that include CHP and sheriff?
CHP, and I think the sheriffs had 1 or 2, the CHP had a number of them, and LAPD had the other arrests.
Chief, plans for the department tonight, tactical alert, what happens this?
Yeah, we're on tactical alert. We've mobilized as well partial mobilization for the Office of Operations as well as motor officers. So that gives us the ability to draw on additional resources to be able to deal with the needs of the day. We can downsize that if we need to, or we can escalate it to the rest of the department or other parts of the department if we have to as well.
Chief, neighboring agencies, neighboring cities, are we going to be asking for more help to come into a department that is understaffed?
That'll depend on what the night looks like and what tomorrow then plays out to be. Our hope is to be able to downsize as quickly as we can to release our partners back to their own communities. We're very thankful that they're here with us, that they're partnering with us to do the job that we're doing today. But my hope is to be able to free them up as soon as we can to go back doing their role serving their communities.
Last question from Jeff.
Chief, if I may, last night, a lot of people saw CHP officers taking on chunks of concrete onto their vehicles. And you were talking about, being able to be mobile in a situation like this and moving around. Can you talk to us about some of the challenges that your officers face? Because sometimes people will see something on TV and they wonder why help is not on the way quick enough.
Yeah. Thank you. And that's something that frustrates people all the time. And I know if I'm watching it at home, I'm going, where are they? What are they doing? But what I can tell you is that the camera will often be where the police are not, or the police are not in sufficient numbers to be able to go in. Because when you go in and you make an arrest, for every arrest you make, that takes 2 to 3 people off the street to process that arrest. Every arrestee has to be detained, placed under arrest, then transported to a facility to further process them and then book them. They may need medical treatment.
Yeah,
on top
that's
of
why
that.
they
If
put them
have
on that
pre-existing
fucking
condition
bus.
Or something that needs help. So every step of the way, that's bringing in more people. So you're
Goddamn
taking bodies from the
LAPD
field,
bus
from the problem that you're dealing with to do
with the
that.
bars
So
on them.
to go out and look for large numbers of arrests is very difficult to achieve. We don't try and run up numbers on arrests. We try and be able to keep the peace as well as we can. And as I mentioned before, to be judicious about making arrests because we have limited resources and we're trying to maintain them in the field as best we can. When the situation dictates and arrests are necessary, then we try and do that with putting arrest teams in place, being able to do that safely. And then we have the transportation, the jail bus or vans. And then we need a processing team to carry out the booking, and then to be able, if appropriate, either transport them to another facility or to site and release them. So there's a lot goes into it behind the scenes other than just the arrest at the scene.
What types of things are they
There's
arrested
no,
for?
I gotta cut the questions off, sorry. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Chief. Let me do just that one if I could. Give me that again, if you would.
Yeah, what types of things were these people arrested for?
Yeah, we saw everything from failure to disperse for when they were told that it was an unlawful assembly and that they would be subject to arrest if they did not leave. Many of them did not leave and were arrested for that. We had
Correct.
always arrested for assault
When
with
the
a deadly
cops
weapon
tell
on
you to
police officer.
disperse,
We
that
had
means
a variety of different
disperse.
types of crime like that. But we also
You
had
should
one
probably
with a
do
Molotov
it.
cocktail that I believe was booked for attempt murder on a police officer who used that in that fashion. So our officers are out there. I take my hat off to them. This is very, very difficult.
Right, and
deployment. But
they're
as well, I thank all
Well,
of you that you're out there getting
I mean,
the video on this, putting yourselves
when
in
they
harm's
tell you
way
to
also.
disperse,
So
there's
hopefully we
obviously
all get
people
through
who
this,
stay, but
quickly and safely
if you
as
don't
much as
disperse the
we
way
can.
they want
So
you
thank you all
to,
very
they
much.
will fucking put you, right, they will take you in. Right, you keep pushing, right, you keep pushing your luck, they're gonna fucking put you in the slammer. So you're gonna get charged with some fines. As you can see, still got police moving around. Exit News is right here. Cops are moving to a different area. Right, it looks like they're all around the federal building now.
All right, you are watching live continuing coverage. Sorry, it's getting early in the morning here. It's 1:22 a.m. on the East Coast, and it is 10:22 p.m. over in Los Angeles, California, where we are watching live. Multiple cameras here on Starship Adventures. I'm glad you guys are here. We are at 14,910 subscribers. We would love to get that last one.
There's nothing going on with it.
Yeah, you can see them all lined up right here. Alright, that's gonna be it for this recording right here.